Hey guys, welcome to Tim's Stuff. Today I'm going to show you how I made this with a little bit of scrap metal. Let's create it. As I get an idea in my head, I go through some of the items I find and look for stuff that I can work on to make things into something else. First thing I have to do is clean them up. I usually start with a wire wheel or sandpaper, and in this case I was able to take these nails that I found and wire brush them to get them clean. As I go through the process of cleaning these, I make sure that I get all the rust off, anything that looks like it's going to need to be ground or sanded, so I have a clean starting point to work on this project. This takes a while since I have a lot of these items to do, but here we go. I got them done, and I also found this ball hitch that I think will make my project work out just fine. Here's a sketch of what I was thinking of I'd make these work into as an octopus. I think this will be fine if I can figure out how to make it all go together. To get this project started, I needed to bend these legs into the shapes that I think will work for the overall finished piece. So I start by putting them in the vise. I have a bending device that I made out of a couple of bolts and an old piece of steel. And so as I bend them into the shape and roughly get them in a position of how I think they're going to be needed, and work from there. As I bend them all, each of them is different, each will be unique, and each piece will be fit together to make the finished piece. There's no exact science to bending these, so I'm just kind of working on them as I go. And once I start putting the final pieces together, I'll have more of an idea what needs to be fine-tuned in the process. Now I'm going to grind smooth where I'm going to weld the two pieces that I need for the body together. The bolt and the ball hitch will become the body for the octopus. Once I get these cleaned up, then I'm able to tack weld them together, make sure I have what I need, and then I'll finish weld the whole thing. After I get everything welded, I start grinding down my welds to kind of smooth things out and clean them up a little bit. This flux core welder puts off quite a bit of splatter, so there's a lot to clean up. Here's where I start laying out the pieces to make sure that I kind of got my idea rough together and everything's going to work out. I think I've got all 8 legs and the body put together, so now I should be able to kind of rearrange them in order so I can put these together as the finished piece. Once I get the pieces fitted together, then I take them back apart and start welding them together so I can have my finished piece ready to go. Got all the pieces welded together, clean off the slag, and now I think it's going to be, I like the shape, so now I'll figure out how to finish weld everything and then grind it down to make it fit better. Along the seam where the legs go together and they're going to meet the body, I added a little extra welding in here, so I had some extra metal to grind back off just to give it a little more body in the legs. keep grinding the body and the leg piece together so I can get it down to the size it fits within the side of the ball. Once I get that done, then I'll weld the pieces together. Found an old brass boat propeller that I'm going to mount this to, so this is going to be my base. So now I need to start forming the legs around this propeller to make sure I can get everything to fit, and it looks like it's grabbing onto it. I think this will be a nice effect once it's done. It gives it a nice contrast between the colors, between the steel and the brass. You'll also notice that I added the eyes for the piece. I ended up not recording that, but I made those out of a couple of ball bearings and half a washer for each side that I bent and welded on. I've got him roughly fitted now to the propeller. I think I like the way it's looking. It's turning out good. I got to work on adjusting some of the legs to make them look like they're grabbing a little better. But just a little bit of bending here and there. And once I get everything put together, I'll finish weld the body and the head together. Once I got everything welded together where I'm happy with it, then I started cleaning it up with wire brushes, a Dremel tool, just to get all the excess welding splatter off of it and kind of clean up anything that was left from bending or from welding it. Here's what it looks like after I kind of got everything put together and finished. I cleaned up the propeller a little bit, cleaned up the piece a little bit, and now he's fitting pretty well. I'm pretty happy with where he's at. I just have a few more things to do. Finish, I tend to add a little black spray paint in the low parts where I welded everything and kind of down in things. It gives a little more dimension. And I'll come back and take that off with a wire brush and some Scotch-Brite. I kind of like the way it adds an effect to give it a little bit of age. Also clear coat the pieces once they're done. This is clear coating the brass because it doesn't need any additional effect to the color. I like the patina that's already on it. Now I just go back and clean up all of the excess paint, take off as much as I think I need just to kind of give it that look that I like. And it's really just a matter of going back and kind of hand doing what I need, taking it off with a wire brush first, and then I'll go back with some Scotch-Brite and take off the excess of what's left. Once I get everything kind of cleaned up and down to the finish and the color I like, after I get enough of the black back off of it, so it's very subtle at this point, I'll go back and then I'll clear coat the whole thing so it kind of protects it so it won't rust or continue to age. It'll continue to stay better as a finished piece. Next I had to figure out a way to connect the Octopus to the propeller. Since I can't weld the dissimilar metals, I stuck a bolt through the hole in the propeller and welded it back to one of the legs on the bottom. I figured it was hidden pretty much and you can't hardly see it, but he won't be coming off there now. He's finally finished, so here's a closer look at how it turned out. I'm really happy with the results. For more creative projects in the future, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.